Comin At Ya Podcast contains adult themes and language. It's not intended for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Now, here's your hosts, Kevin and Chris, with Todd, who has only one job.
It's time once again for another episode of Comin At Ya. Comin At Ya, a podcast about the world of mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, Comin At Ya, and heavy metal music, with a slice of comedy for good measure. Comin At Ya.
And we're back. Episode 218 of Comin At Ya Podcast. I'm Christopher Scott with my good friend Kevin Honeycutt. Also joined by us by Tata Tati, and we are Comin At Ya Podcast.
Hello, hello.
You can tell her she said, with Todd, who only has one job. So, who's the show brought to us by, Bullet? Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix.
Are you trying to figure out what you're watching on Netflix right this second?
Yeah, I never have time to watch TV. I'm still watching Altered Carbon.
I've made it maybe, I think, 3 or 4 episodes into it.
I made 2.
It's really good.
It is good.
But I'm still trying. It's so, I don't know.
I was watching it with Aiden, and then there was scenes where there was a lot of boobs, and he bailed on me.
Yeah, the Edgar Allan Poe guy.
Yeah,
reminds me a lot of Todd because he's in a good way. Without giving anything away, there's a scene where something that you know, there's like a mission that happens, and he's like, you were supposed to be the backup, and he's Edgar Allan Poe, and he's like, you could classify that more as a fuck-up than backup. But he says it, but he just reminded me so much of Todd when he did it. It was really funny.
Netflix really has a lot of good shows anymore.
Jessica Jones just started back up.
I went and saw Gringo in the last week.
How was that?
And Game Night. And not Netflix, but I was surprised that how big Netflix and Amazon are getting.
Yeah.
Because these were both Amazon films. And they were in the credits at the beginning, like, hey, this is an Amazon film.
Yeah.
And I know there's Netflix ones that are coming out as well, like going straight to theater.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's pretty big.
Like, these guys started with streaming video, discs, and DVDs. And then they switched to the streaming where you could watch it from home without having to wait for your disc in the mail and send it back. And then it got to the point where you can watch brand new shows. Now they're in theaters. There's just a ton of stuff happening with Netflix.
Did Amazon start that?
Crazy.
Amazon started
With that, Casey Affleck movie.
Which one is that?
Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a Netflix
Yeah, that
movie.
was probably
that was an Amazon movie.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction.
Their first one. The show's also brought to us by Ref's Tattoo.
I just talked to him.
Didn't you go visit him last week? You said you were going to visit. You never went.
No, there was a snowstorm.
You got so many excuses. That was a week before, I think.
There was a snowstorm then too. We were getting them back
That's
to back.
true. We did get back to back nor'easters.
Yeah.
Did you go? Are you going to get a tattoo? Where can you find him? First of all,
He's in Keswick, Pennsylvania,
at the Keswick Tattoo Company,
right by the Keswick Theater.
Also brought to us by Dads in Cargo Shorts.
Yes, he actually took the opportunity today to make fun of you.
Well, yeah, I saw that. Somehow you two have bonded against me, and every now and then, like I haven't been on Facebook all day, and
I wanted to pile on so bad on that, but I just didn't have the time to.
I logged in at the end of the day, and I saw that you guys were having a little bit of a bash party.
I didn't bash you at all. He sent it. I just watched it and laughed.
But Dads in Cargo Shorts is brought to helped us put our website together, the Comin At Ya Podcast website. You can find all of our streaming media on there, as well as our Twitter feed, Instagram, Facebook. Anything I'm missing?
No.
Okay.
We're all set.
For the webpage, also brought to us by Extreme Cage Combat.
That's true. We have hopefully we got some events coming up with them. We don't know. We just show up and they pay us.
Yeah, so we got the Extreme Cage Combat coming up. We need to cheer you up, buddy.
Oh, I'm in a good mood.
You're just a little tired.
I'm just in a lot of pain today. Bad pain day.
You know what? I wanted to talk a little bit about music with you.
Okay. What would you like to talk
Just
about music?
Just guilty pleasure stuff. Like you got to have some. I know you're into your heavy metal.
You know I'm not.
Now, like whatever. What's the kind of music you play?
I'll hit you up with a playlist.
I just need to know the kind of music.
I'm not going to play the music, dickhead. I have to pull up the playlist. Jesus Christ, you.
What playlist are you pulling up?
I'll throw out one,
On
Chris.
Spotify. You asked to know. I'm going to.
No, I'm asking you what your band plays.
Both my bands play heavy music.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Well, you're into your heavy metal.
So this is basically what I want to get to is I was in the car, right, and Don't Stop Believing came on, right,
Excellent song.
and I'm cruising down the highway, right, and that's one of those songs that every time it comes on, I feel like I can sing it.
That's a song that like white people get fucking crazy about.
That's what I'm saying though. Like there's definitely songs that you have that are not in the genre of music that you normally listen to that make you go crazy.
But what I'm saying to you is that I don't listen. You're under the misconception that I listen to heavy music, and I don't.
No, I know you listen. What I want to know is there a song that when it comes on and nobody's around and it starts playing, you sing it at the top of your lungs, which people would be like, that's a kind of an unusual song for that dude to be singing. Like I was in the car flying down the highway and Don't Stop Believing came on, right? Immediately I'm at the top of my lungs screaming as loud as I can and like just really feeling it. And there's people driving by me. This isn't like slow traffic. And people are looking at me and I just didn't give a shit.
Across 110th Street.
How's that one go? Is that the old like Motown one?
It's not Motown, but it's like from the 70s.
What kind of music is it? I know what song it is, but what would you... I think that's a Motown song.
It's like funk, I guess. A little funk.
Mo-funk?
A little
Mo-funk?
funky, a little stuff like that.
That's pretty good, but like you don't have any songs that you do that? I'm still trying to get that answer out of you.
I do all kinds of songs, but I don't really feel guilty about any. Like if people don't like what I'm playing, then fuck them.
You could walk or be by my car, and if I'll be honest with you, a Wham song comes on,
Todd loves Wham.
I'll fucking go balls.
Anytime, and
deep in that song.
I'm not gonna lie. When I hear "Wake Me Up Before You Go," I'm snapping my fingers and just
I can't. I keep thinking of Zoolander when they're just hanging out in the. I can't. Dude, I love
Nothing
it.
wrong with Wham. Hey man, if you like Wham, that's cool. I mean,
I did listen to one today when you sent me that text.
What was it?
It was girls just want to have fun.
That one gets me too.
Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what other one gets me too is was it the Spice Girls?
Spice World.
Yeah, it's a song from Spice World album. It's
Get
"Don't
What
Forget
You
My
Want, What You Would
Future,
Do. Oh, no.
Don't Get My Past." How's that song go?
I don't know that one.
Oh, you know the song. Don't tell me you don't fucking know the song.
Which one of the Spice Girls would you have banged? Which one was your girl?
I think originally it was.
I know which one you like.
You're gonna say Sporty Spice?
Yeah,
No.
because she got little hips. You
No.
like girls with little hips.
It's the redhead
Really, she was the bigger one. That was the one I liked.
or Mel B.
Really?
Yeah.
All right,
Did you look
got
up the song?
All right, you got a
Which
sweet
one?
tooth. All
The
right.
Spice Girls song
No,
that
but
I was
are
asking
we gonna
about.
drink this?
Yeah, let's do this. You guys are making this conversation more difficult than it needs to be.
I think he is.
I'm not.
You haven't even given a song yet. Everything I like is
I'll give you-
no guilty pleasure over
I'll
here.
give you a playlist right here that I was playing today.
Yeah, but I have playlists, but I'm talking about something comes on,
Well, you don't have it planned. It comes on,
just comes on.
and you just start
That
belting
would
it
never
out.
be in your playlist. But you know what? When it comes on, you're like, fucking like that.
Like anytime I hear "We Are the Champions,"
What's that one?
that one I kick in.
But that's
I'll give you one that came on the radio
guilty.
the other day.
No, but it's one of those ones you just let it loose.
We were coming back from the fucking recording studio, and Night Ranger Motorin came on, or whatever.
Motorin.
Yeah, that was.
What? Yeah, and then you realize you can't sing, but like I'm talking about me, and I just belted out.
Yeah.
And when I say guilty pleasure, I don't mean necessarily guilty pleasure. It's just a song that takes you to a really good spot, and you just let it go. Right?
I think Free Falling's one of those ones.
Free Falling's one. If I have the family in the car and a song comes on, I'm not afraid to belt it out and just let it loose. And they all look at me like I'm crazy.
Sweet Child of Mine's another
Sweet
good
Child
one.
of Mine is one. If I hear Huey Lewis, the Power of Love, that one gets me going.
Hit the B Square is another one.
What's that one?
Huey Lewis.
Oh, Hip to Be Square. I thought you said
Hit the B Square. I always thought it was Hit the B Square, which even makes it even
Have
funnier.
you ever had songs where you just don't know the words at
Oh,
all, and you finally
completely.
learn the words to them, and you're like,
Right.
"What the hell is this?" I have that with a couple AC/DC songs.
I remember a buddy of mine.
What was the song for Spice Girls?
I'm asking you.
I know, but
It's
they have
their,
a
it's their
thousand
number one song ever.
You can't play it.
I want.
When I was training jiu-jitsu back at Jiu-Jitsu United, they had a guy there, Hoffa. I didn't even know he was Brazilian because he didn't really have that much of an accent. And he said that when he was in Brazil, they used to listen to Ryan Adams songs. And then once he learned English, he learned what he was singing and was like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Well, that was the same with Popo.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah,
What he? Yeah, he listened to some like really whack shit.
yeah, and then he finally got he finally learned the words, and he was just done with it.
They had a bunch of number ones.
Yeah, apparently they did have a bunch of number ones.
Wannabe, So You'll Be There.
I think it's
To Become
Wannabe.
One.
I think it's Wannabe.
All the Brazilians that you know, and not one of them like Sepultura. That's fucked up.
I don't like Sepultura either.
But you're not Brazilian. Yeah, I know
Do
you
you have Sepultura?
It's a band.
It's a heavy metal Brazilian band, right?
Yeah, they're like huge from Brazil. Not a lot of Brazilian bands got worldwide fucking acclaim.
Does
Well, do they not like heavy metal?
No, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, but Brazilians are very nationalistic. Like if one of theirs does good, they all rally behind them.
No matter what it is.
Yeah, I mean it's much more than Americans. They get behind their fighters, they get behind their athletes, they get behind their, but apparently not like
Then
their
it's
heavy
not the
metal.
same for music. I think music you can separate everything.
I guess.
I'm always amazed at people from other countries when they start singing in English.
Yeah.
That the accent goes completely away.
Yeah, or the reverse, where you get these fucks that sing like Green Day. They sing like they got British accents. They used to.
Yeah, I never even thought about that.
And it's like, you fuck.
How about the best one is that the guy who sings for Journey now.
the
The
Filipino
Filipino.
guy. Yeah, his accent's completely gone when he sings.
Well, yeah, because he grew up on those songs.
If you hear "Total Eclipse of the Heart," does that do anything for you?
It depends on the mood I'm in.
I might not
all
be,
these you hear in a good mood.
Yeah,
that one's kind of sad.
You think
Usually
so?
what
I
I
don't think so.
wind up doing is I usually wind up doing
Once
like
upon a time,
the old
I
school
was
thing.
falling in
Yeah.
love.
where I'll just add like a shit ton of obscenities to it.
Like curse and
Yeah,
instead
like
of every word.
total fucking eclipse of the, nothing fuck. Like
We got-
I throw tons of fucking in. That's funny too.
The list that I'm looking at
Rock,
right here,
Rock of Ages, somebody put on here.
Rock of Ages is definitely one that gets me. Def Leppard.
Actually,
if I hear
not their best Def Leppard one to go crazy
who
with.
do you go crazy with?
Probably like Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Yeah, that one I go nuts with. If I hear Duran Duran, Wild Boys.
But the next
Wild Boys.
You know who used
that
to
one
come
takes
out
me
to
to a
that?
different place. Who?
fucking Crow Cop used to come out to that.
Yeah.
When he was the most feared dude in MMA, right? This dude, like, if he hit you with his left kick, he would kill you. Literally, it was right leg was hospital, left kick was morgue. That's what he named them, right? He comes down to the ring and like, wild boys. Like, wait a minute,
Such
that
a
doesn't.
good song.
And then Vanderlei, when he was the most feared guy, came out to that like really cheesy club music.
Yeah, it's like super digital, like blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
It's like this is not inspiring fear.
That's actually a pretty good one, I think, to get pumped up to.
Yeah, it does
but
get you going.
His nickname was the Axe Murderer.
On the dance floor.
And he had a tattoo on the back of his head.
How about if you hear Nickelback?
Nothing. No.
How You Remind Me.
No.
That one doesn't do anything for you?
Fuck Nickelback.
Why?
I'm actually looking at the list
Because
of
They say something
power
about
ballads.
they say something about pro wrestling.
No, I shouldn't
They
say like,
figured out the formula to get people to listen to them but still hate them.
they are as basic as fuck. They're generic as fuck.
But yeah,
Wow.
I think you and I both read. I think I sent you the article on them
Yeah.
where the guy said that all of their story, all their songs, whatever the song is about, is basically
Just generic as fuck.
generic, but written on a third grade level. Which I don't think you need to go like real deep on some of that stuff.
Yeah, I can't get into Nickelback.
I
at
would
all.
have to disagree. So they have some good songs.
No, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying it's just.
I'm looking
they're
at
generic as fuck.
I'm looking at the list of power ballads 1 and 2.
You know what Nickelback is? Nickelback is like a fucking boiled hot dog on white bread with the fucking ketchup on it.
Yeah,
you know, and
and
it's like
soaked.
It's yeah. You're like
You didn't have anything else for lunch.
I'll be honest with you. Sounds delicious.
yeah.
Well, that's coming from the guy who in college used to eat.
Listen, you want to be a real.
Hold on, he used to eat Spam as his meal, and as he's cooking it, he would take the grease out of the can and pour it on it to finish it before he ate it.
Maybe that's
Yeah, that tells you a lot right there about the guy.
if you really want to be a real vindictive fuck.
Have you had Spam?
I haven't had it
Yeah,
in a
when
long
I was
time.
camping.
You know, we
Yeah,
should.
it's not bad. When it's
No.
cut thin and grilled, it's not
It's
bad.
closer to pork roll when it's cut thin.
It
Yeah,
is.
but
I
if,
would like you to just cook the big block
you-
and take a giant bite out of the
And
block.
put those little cinnamon things in it.
if you're vindictive, what you can do is you boil hot dogs and you take that boiled hot dog water, put them in ice trays, and use those for the ice cubes for people you don't like.
Oh, I do that with like pickle juice.
See, I personally have a 3-step hot dog process, so there is no water left over.
What is it?
So I put them in
There's
a pan.
nothing better than a grilled hot dog, though.
Put them in a pan.
Yeah,
nothing.
grilled's going to be number one, but if it's my second choice, I'm
Put 'em in a pan.
microwaving it with slits in it,
Ooh. I put it in a pan,
I'd rather
wrapped
burn
in paper.
water, cover it with a lid, like a frying pan.
Yeah, you got to cover it with a lid to keep the juices in.
It steams it.
Keeps the juices in.
Take it off. Finish boiling it. Let the water evaporate, and then I put a nice little sear on it.
A little sear. So you're using like multiple
3 steps.
dishes
3
when he does
steps.
it.
No,
Would
one
you-
dish. One
Boiling's
pan.
my last option
One pan,
for a
Chris.
hot dog.
One pan.
That's my second. Would
So
you
it's-
would you rather grill it or boil it?
What was the question?
Would you rather grill it or boil
Oh, grill it. I thought you said grab it. I would grill it in a second.
Unless I was getting it from a 1980s Phillies guy pulling it out of the big box, throwing it on there.
Something about boiling, like the color changes are like gray. Like
There
it's
is
not-
nothing worse than seeing a hot dog that doesn't look right.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the color to it. It's just there's something
you,
about it's just wrong.
and you can't eat a hot dog unless it's like spring or summertime.
No, we have them probably every other week.
Todd eats a lot of hot dogs. He's a hot dog guy. Hot dog guy.
All right.
Hot
That's
dog
why I got
guy.
that 3-step process. What do you think?
Yeah, you can't do 2 processes with him. He's got to be a 3-process guy.
The kids asked me immediately, "Are you doing all 3 steps?"
But this fucker used to just pour the Spam juice on his stuff and eat it.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah, I just said that to you a second ago. You didn't react
would-
the first time.
that would finish it off to congeal a little bit.
Cook it.
This is why you look older than him.
Not right now.
Open the can.
Not right now. Bullshit.
He got a new haircut.
I'll go on.
Open the can.
I'm going on.
Right? You open the can. You pour. He'd cook it in the pan.
Fuck, that is
Pour the juice from the Spam on it.
fucked up.
And he was the happiest guy around at the time. Does
Come on, baby.
Does keep,
Come on.
Does Keep On Loving You do anything for you?
Who's that? Keep on.
REO Speedwagon.
How does it go?
I'm gonna keep on loving you.
Cause
You don't know that
it's
song?
the only
I know it,
thing
but-
I wanna
Yeah,
do.
I know it. I know it.
It doesn't do anything for you. How about in certain songs, like when I hear them, it also takes me back to something too. Like
Really?
"Don't You Forget About Me" by Simple Minds. I love the song, but what movie does it make you think of?
Breakfast Club.
Exactly. So there's something to do with the song when you hear it too, and it automatically just transports you somewhere. So I think with a lot of the songs, that does it for me. Like if I hear Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby,
Shit.
I'm singing it.
But that's not I'm proud about that. I'll wind the windows down.
Oh yeah, I let that shit just fly. Ice Baby, bro.
How the fuck do I know you people?
And fucking if I
How do
hear
I know you
if I hear Meatloaf by the Dashboard Lights, fucking sing the shit out of that.
Let me sleep on it.
Baby, baby,
Let me sleep on it.
baby, baby,
Let me sleep on it.
baby, baby.
I'll give you an answer in the morning.
How the fuck do I know you people?
If I hear,
Like, what am I doing
If
here?
I hear the Bangles, Eternal Flame. Well, who's the chick that was lead singer of the Bangles?
Susanna
Hoff.
Hoff, yeah.
She was.
She's
smoking.
She's
She's still
smoking.
cute.
She's still smoking.
Oh my
Pull
god.
up a picture of her.
She was
Toddy.
so
I just looked
beautiful.
at her. I just looked her up a couple days ago.
And
She
was.
looks still hot.
She was in one movie. It was
Yep,
like a
the
surfing
beach
movie.
movie, the
Yeah,
beach
surfing
movie.
movie, and she looked good.
She still looks
You
good.
know who I follow on Instagram?
She made a deal with
talking
the
about
devil.
somebody who still looks good. The chick with the dark hair
That narrows it down.
from Weird Science.
No, she doesn't.
She still looks good.
No, she
Yes,
doesn't.
she does. She's like a fitness instructor.
She turned into a minga. Maybe unless
What's
she
a minga?
The one who married Steven Seagal for like a hot minute?
No, the one that they got at the end, the 2 girls. Remember they hooked up with the 2 girls at the end? Yeah, she still looks fucking awesome.
Let me say.
They hooked up with the 2 girls at the end of...
I'm not going to do anything to your phone.
Oh, yeah, he's smart enough. He's learned his lesson.
I'm not going to do anything to your phone, I promise you.
Here, hand it to me, and I'll hold it across. So anyway, the chick, the 2 girls at the end that go home with Wyatt and the other girl and the other dude, the dark hair chick. I follow her on Instagram. Still looks good. I can't remember her name.
I'll tell you, she was completely nude in Man with the Red. That Gene Wilder movie.
Man with one red shoe was
with Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. I know which one you're talking about, where he lost his memory.
Yes.
Simply Red. No. Something red though.
Oh, she
right?
was so smoking.
The woman in red.
How about All by Myself?
Wow, they're very sad.
I'm going off the Power Ballads list. You can pull up your own list over there. I'm looking at songs that when I hear them, I let it go.
That reminds me of my first sexual experience.
Well, when you say first sexual experience, is that count by yourself?
Are you talking about Power of Love?
No, all by myself. I mean, thought it was fucking evident enough. Jesus Christ.
You know, you tossed it up and...
Jesus, that was like a fucking fly ball right to center field, ladies and gentlemen. And the center fielder fucking dropped it, ladies and gentlemen.
if I hear Against All Odds from Phil Collins...
Inside the park, home run, because the center fielder dropped it.
But what's funny is that song reminds me of the movie that's from.
When I hear Against All Odds, it reminds me of Miami Vice. Because that was the theme song. Like it was one of the theme songs.
Somebody say The Power of Love? Wasn't that like the Karate Kid 2 song?
Was it? Yeah, I think it was in the second one.
Yeah, the second one.
Of love.
No.
The second one's with the Chinese girl. He's in Okinawa or something, right?
It's Japanese.
Japanese, yeah. He's with the girl in Okinawa, and I think The Power of Love is playing at the beginning, maybe?
Yeah, he did it all.
Right before...
I think it was Power, Glory, or something of Love.
Had we figured out Daniel was the actual bad guy prior to this, there probably wouldn't have been a second.
They're bringing it back on
we
YouTube.
talked about it like 2 weeks ago on Netflix. On YouTube Red. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
That movie's it's from Against All Odds movie.
Yeah, I know that.
With Rachel Ward.
Yeah, which is, she looks good in that. And who's the main guy in that? That's
we had Jeff Bridges and James
Jeff
Woods.
Bridges. He's the best. Big Lebowski.
I just watched the Crazy Heart movie.
Which one's Crazy Heart?
It's the one he won an Oscar for.
He's a singer, right?
Yeah.
That one's good.
He loves singing.
He's really good. He really can sing and really play great guitar.
Do you get mad when you see people that are so talented like that just whatever they step into, it works out?
No.
No? How about on podcasts? Like somebody who's famous and then all of a sudden they decide to do a podcast and now it's popular?
Yeah, but that's not really talent. They're just capitalizing on their fame. But
I know that. But that's what I'm asking.
But talented.
Yeah, rephrase the question then.
Yeah, talented.
I'd like to rephrase the question.
Okay.
Chris,
can I do that?
Chris, go ahead.
Well, do you ever feel a little bit of anger towards people who leverage their
fame,
renown, and become popular in genres that they really shouldn't be in?
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I wake up angry just in general. So, I mean, I would say...
But when you see that stuff happen, like
we've been
doing this for 6 years, 7 years.
It's annoying.
It can be annoying.
But that's just the facts of life.
That's another song that does it for me, too.
The facts
of life. You take the good,
you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. What's the next line?
You two are so goddamn white. I mean, it's like you two are whiter than white. You two are like fucking glowing. You're like iridescent. You're iridescent.
I would like to call bullshit on that.
I would like to call bullshit on that as well, because we listen to some other stuff.
We do.
Todd used to be a huge NWA fan for a long time.
I was too, especially during the Jim Crockett era when Dusty was running strong, brother. When Dusty was running strong against the Horsemen, brother.
Brother, what you gonna do, brother?
Speaking of Ric Flair, he's got a custom suit collection coming out.
Really?
That it's amazing. It hasn't happened yet.
He doesn't have a whole lot of money.
So this goes into your same thing. A guy leveraging his.
You would buy a Ric Flair suit in a second.
I've already looked at it.
Exactly.
$700.
He's not going to sell shit.
You want to make a bet he will?
I bet.
I guarantee
he's not going to sell them. Like,
well, you're not. You won't pay anyway.
Like McGregor came out with his "fuck you" suits.
Fuck that guy.
Those will sell a lot more than the Ric Flair suit.
No, they won't.
Absolutely.
Conor McGregor is a flash in the pan.
He's been around for a few years.
Are you guys talking about my hot dogs again?
Yeah.
He's a flash in the pan.
Do you think so?
Yes. In 10 years, no one will even remember who he is.
I highly doubt that.
How much you want to bet?
I will bet you $10.
We'll still be here in the fucking basement doing the show, and someone can pull it back.
Welcome everybody to episode 1010.
But you're gonna buy a Ric Flair suit for $700.
I'm saying I believe that more people.
But you personally, I bet, have considered buying it just because it's Ric Flair. And had you seen that suit under any other name or any other brand, there'd be zero consideration.
Correct.
So, do you get upset at Ric Flair for leveraging his fame to convince you to buy a suit you wouldn't even wear?
I think he's capitalizing on his image.
If he's capitalizing on you with your $700?
Well, I mean, to be fair, if I had the expendable $700,
you would be buying another base.
No, I would probably buy a replica of the 10 pounds of gold, brother, and have him sign it.
What if you found out Ric Flair was secretly a bass player as well? Would that be like the
Hulk Hogan is
the ultimate?
Hulk Hogan's a bass
player. I'm
player.
talking, but you're not in love with Hulk Hogan. You're in love with Ric Flair.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm in love with Ric Flair.
You're in love with his persona.
I appreciate all the all the hard bumps he took in the ring, brother. The fucking hour Broadways that he took, for my entertainment.
But like he's leveraging his fame to get you to purchase something.
He's not getting me to. He's lending his name to a product that I would not otherwise consider.
Have you bought any other products from famous people because they were famous?
I buy T-shirts at Pro Wrestling Tees.
How about the masks?
No, same thing. Yeah. Let me rephrase that. Something that is out of the ordinary that you wouldn't even use, or more expensive than
like a George Foreman grill,
like you would normally spend. Like
that's got function.
That's got function. If there was a Ric Flair grill and it was $1,000.
No, I mean the price has to be.
And it was the shape of the championship.
Hold on. You put a burger in there.
It's the shape of the championship belt, and you flip the belt up. You put the burger and you flip the belt back down.
Not if it was $1,000.
I might be onto something here.
If it were like $100, without a doubt.
And every time you open it, it says, "To be the burger, you gotta cook the burger."
No, if it would cook your burger with the imprint of the world title belt, because that's what the plate was.
What if it had Ric Flair's face, like just the outline of his head?
That would be kind of cool, like a stylized version.
Ric Flair NWA belt that opens up,
and
there's condiments on the other side, like where the belt would come out.
Oh, look at you!
And you flip it back down.
It's beautiful,
and it's $400.
No.
$300.
No.
How can I get you into this for $200 today?
You're not gonna.
That's a $50 product all day.
I think $200 would be in your limit that you would buy that, and you would rip the oven out of your kitchen.
$199.
And it would just be
$199.99.
no tax,
and it's mine.
And that fucking thing would just be sitting in the middle of your kitchen.
Yeah.
No oven, no nothing else. Right?
I mean, it's.
And they throw in the free Ole Anderson utensil kit.
Because he was a utensil. You could use him anywhere.
He was a utility player, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and the spatula is just 4 fingers, and you scoop it in, flip it over.
You should fucking.
I should be in marketing.
Jesus Christ! I mean,
I might totally be onto something.
It's brilliant.
Your Barry Windham beer holder.
He could knock him back, brother.
All right,
here's town to town.
Here's a question for you. So you had Ric Flair, Ole Anderson, Arn Anderson. Then you had the other guys that kind of replaced each other over the years.
Well, no, the original Horseman.
No, I'm not talking about who's original.
Okay.
Let me get to my question. You had Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
Barry Windham.
Well, he was
right. You had Barry Windham. He was in it. You had Lex Luger.
He was in it.
Who else was in it?
Sting was in it.
You also had Sid Vicious. Wasn't Sid Vicious in there for a while? So you got 5 guys, right?
That was a lot more than 5 that you named, but okay.
No, I'm talking about the guys that are on the outside of the group, like the
Chris Benoit.
That one, yeah, Benoit was in there.
Dean Malenko.
Jesus Christ, there's a whole shitload.
Yeah, Brian Pillman.
Out of the guys that were 4 horsemen,
Jeff Jarrett.
4 horsemen, right?
JEFF, JARRETT.
You get rid of Ole, Arn, and Rick. Let's just say they retired. You got to choose from the ancillary group of guys that were in the Four Horsemen at one time or another, and you got to pick 4 new horsemen out of those guys.
I could tell, or even better, pick 4 horsemen out of the new guys that are still around right now.
No, I want to know out of the guys that were in the Four Horsemen at the time.
Well, I would say that
number 1 pick. This is a draft. Todd, you get a draft. You can pick somebody else after that.
Benoit.
Benoit's your first choice.
Yeah.
Is he the leader of the group?
No, he would be the enforcer. He'd be the double A brother. He'd be the guy getting it done.
See, for me, if I'm picking a group, I'm picking my centerpiece first.
Centerpiece? I would.
When you say that, you talking about your dime piece?
But no, when I'm saying centerpiece, I'm thinking of the guy who's the brains behind the operation and directs the other 3 on what's going to go on.
Well, no, he
takes Sid's Vicious out of that equation.
Yes, Sid's not that smart.
That was JJ. JJ was the guy. He was the
Jeff Jarrett?
No, JJ Dillon.
If JJ Dillon wasn't around, Ric Flair would be that guy.
Yeah, but Ric Flair was the centerpiece. He was the one that got the. He was the.
That's what I'm saying. Who's your centerpiece?
God, I hate.
Here's one thing.
Out of those guys, I would have to say Lex Luger, because he was the total package.
He was the total package.
You know,
but you have a tendency when I ask you questions to not answer the question and just make me work for it.
I would say Lex.
This is a two-way street.
I would say Luger.
Luger's your centerpiece.
Yeah.
Benoit's your second guy.
Yeah.
He's your enforcer. Out of the first 4 horsemen, Arn's the enforcer. Would you say?
Yeah. Well, he was the enforcer.
That's right. I'm asking him.
I would say probably Sid Vicious would be my heater. He would be
Who was the heater in the original 4? Ole?
Probably Ole. Yeah.
Okay.
But Sid would, because he wouldn't have to do much. And then I would probably say my last guy would be Sting. That's how they always used to say it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I would say out of the new guys right now, if you were going to pick a new 4 horsemen right now, you would.
You can't pick a new horseman. You can only pick guys that were in the.
No, if you were going to restart the horsemen today,
right?
I would say without a doubt you'd have Miz, Orton, Ziggler. Oh man, who would be the 4th?
Ziggler's like a miniature Sid Vicious.
Ziggler
with the hair.
No, he's like the second coming of Kurt Hennig.
Right, but
bumps
maybe with the hair.
Machine makes everybody look.
He's
awesome.
a good bumper.
Yeah, he's fucking amazing.
Do you get your kid watching wrestling?
He doesn't like it, and he's
Cinnamon Jr. does not like wrestling.
He says to me all the time.
Do you feel like putting him up for adoption when you hear him talk like that?
No. I mean, there's still time to change his mind.
Does he do anything that makes you absolutely crazy? Like, and here's why I'm asking, because I had this on my list of things I want to talk about. Shit your kids do to make you nuts, right? Like oh
yeah, here's what he does.
Like Aiden tried out for wrestling a few months ago. He's been doing jiu-jitsu for 9 years, right?
Yeah, and he doesn't want to start sucking at something again.
Well, he tried it. He quit the first day.
Yeah,
right.
He's a little bitch.
Yeah, he's being a pussy is what I told him. I said it to him. So he decided to go out for track this week, right? He only got to run twice. He made the team.
Everybody makes the team.
Right, exactly. Everybody makes the team, but he ran the 100 meters, and for some reason he ran in a zigzag. And somebody's
on the hill sniping at him.
And somebody pointed it out to him. So he ran again today, and he was like 1 second slower than the kids that are a year older, like the kids that have been running track for a few years. Coach asked him to go out for pen relays. He decides he's not trying out. He's done with it. Because some other kid beat him in the race. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, yeah, that's just like immature shit.
But it's shit that fucking makes me crazy when I have the conversation with him. So my question to you,
I can tell you already what my kid does. He throws shit when he's bored. He'll just look around the room. Will be like, or if he's eating something and he's done with it, he'll just fucking
flip it across the room.
Throw it right across the room. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That would make me crazy. Your place is spotless.
Or he'll dump food. He'll be eating like.
Does he look at you like a cat does when they knock the thing off
he'll just
the
do
counter?
It. And I'll be like, why?
And he's just like,
oh, he's done that.
Don't you do it?
And I'm like, why would you do that? Because I did. What the fuck?
And how do you react to that?
It depends. Sometimes I'll stick his head in the toilet and I just
hit him where the bruises don't show.
No, like I gotta. He doesn't. It depends. Like I think he's just bored and just looking to fuck shit up. So I'm like, yo, you can't do that. Pick that up.
Do you ever go anywhere with him?
Yeah.
Like I've never heard of you. Like when I had my kids. Like when I first had my oldest, right? I wasn't very good at entertaining around the house, so we would go to the mall, we would go to the movies and stuff, but we spent a lot of time in the mall. Just walking around and doing stuff. Did you used to do that too?
No.
No. But like where do you take them when you go out in public? Like, what do you do?
Don't say outside. He's talking like, because you have a hard time going to places anyway. So now, does cinnamon make it easier for you
No.
to go out?
No, because now I'm stressed. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Does going with your 4-year-old kid to a public place make it easier for you? Are
Yes.
you out of
I
your
would think maybe
fucking
for you,
mind?
maybe it would for you because your mind's off of you and just on him now.
Yeah, and you're watching him.
Holy shit! No, it doesn't make it
Like,
easier.
I love going places with my kids.
Well, good for you. I don't.
But do you take him to the movies?
No,
Has he been to a movie yet with you?
no,
And he's 4 years old?
yes.
You wouldn't take him to a kid's movie?
Fuck that shit.
Why?
Because I don't. Because I'll die from the stress.
What's so stressful about it?
What's not so stressful about it?
The one thing that used to make me absolutely nuts is anytime I would take the kids somewhere, like we'd see there's times I've seen Todd in the food court, and I'm with my 3 kids, right? And we just sit down to eat. Declan, for whatever reason, he takes one bite of his food. As soon as he takes a bite, he's got to go shit. Right? And we got all the food on the table, and I got another kid who's 4 years old sitting at the table, and I got a 6-year-old with me, and Mackenzie's not there with me, and I can't leave the 2 younger ones and take him to take a shit.
So you're gonna do it on an expedition so he can shit.
No, but there's times I've seen Todd in the mall. I'm like, can you watch all this,
Just sit there and-
these 2 and this food while I go? And there's been times I've had to get up and take them all to the bathroom with me and to come back and all my food's gone.
Oh,
like the
stop
fucking cleaning people throwing it
yeah,
away.
I thought you were saying I ate it.
No. That's happened too, though. Don't let Todd lie.
Have you done it?
No, I've never
He
eaten
carries
food.
his own thing of Spam juice with him. He puts it on everything.
Fucking raw. That's so nasty.
But like there's times like like the one time I took Aiden to the movies when he was tiny, right? Actually Mackenzie, and it was her first movie. It was the dinosaur movie. I can't remember what it was. And we were at the Chamonix Mall.
Like Ice Age?
No, dinosaur.
Oh, that was the name of the movie, too.
Yeah, she had a diaper, and you could smell that she just shit herself really bad, right? And I'm like, well, let's go out. And I didn't know how to use those things that came down yet, so we're out in the lobby at the Chamonix Mall. You know, they got that funky carpet. Changing her diaper, all the shit falls out of the diaper as I'm changing. It's like real solid, like it just falls out. But I can't find it because the carpet's so busy. I know it's around me somewhere, but I can't find it. So I change her, put another diaper, and I take her right back in the movies. But you don't take him anywhere? Do you take him to restaurants?
Yeah, I've taken him to places like that.
Where have you gone recently?
The fuck is the goddamn? Well, who cares?
I'm trying to have a
I
conversation
don't
with
want
you.
to talk about where I've taken him. I don't need people getting
Strip
into
clubs
my
do
routine.
not count.
I don't take him to a strip club. I would never take him to a strip club.
You would give him his first $1 when he's like 21.
No, I don't want.
This was your dad's first $1 that he stole.
I
got it back from the
I
the
just had a
dancer.
conversation. I'm in no rush for him to grow up and get into that shit.
He's 4 years old.
You know,
No rush. He's nowhere near any age to do shit. He's 4 years old.
don't know, man.
I'm no rush. I'm no rush for him to grow up.
I'm not, man.
You said that about a 13-year-old, not about a 4-year-old.
Why?
Does he watch UFC with you?
No,
He doesn't enjoy that at all?
no. We don't watch a lot of TV because we're doing stuff.
I'm going to give you have him this weekend, right?
Yeah, we do like experiments,
Like a jam
and
session?
play music and shit. and-
Actually, I saw your sound waves experiment yesterday on the gram.
yeah,
That was interesting.
yeah.
Will you?
What was that?
Water bends sound, so you take a tuning fork, you bang it, and you put it in the water, and it bends the sound.
Changes the sound.
Yeah.
So this Saturday UFC's on.
Hey, he thought it was fucking cool.
This Saturday the UFC's on.
This Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I think it's from England this weekend, so it's like a mid-afternoon one.
Oh boy,
Oh, boy.
Can you get him to watch it with you?
I wouldn't want him to.
Why?
He's
Too violent?
He still doesn't really have a really good grasp of action and consequences.
Well, he's 4.
Yeah. So he doesn't need to see people punching each other in the face.
Declan was watching Walking Dead when he was 5.
And he tried to shank me with a
He
fucking
did try to
popsicle.
shank you.
You see the connection
It wasn't
here?
a popsicle.
Well,
I
you
think
do-
it was.
you
I think
do
it
look
was
like a zombie.
I think it was a toothbrush he filed into
Yeah.
a shank.
Yeah. So there you go.
Who's on the fight card this weekend, Todd? I think it's from England or something like that, right?
It's London, England, and it starts online prelims at
like 10 a.m.
10:45.
Jesus, it's a Fight Pass one too, I think. So it's not.
No, it's
Fight Pass.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Who's on the fight card?
The whole card is Fight Pass?
Yeah. Which means anybody that's on the fight card, you're going to see one good fighter from that everybody knows in every fight, and then one British guy that nobody's ever heard of.
You would have hoped for that.
I didn't even get that.
No.
Is there anybody that we know?
Who's the main event? It's Verdum versus Volcom.
Correct.
Right? And Volcom just fought like a month ago?
Volcom's not ready for him. If Verdum's training seriously, Verdum will submit him or knock him out in the first round.
Yeah, Verdum's way too talented for Volcom.
He hasn't fought since is that right? September 2nd?
He fought Cormier.
No, that wasn't Volkov, was it?
Yeah.
No, it was somebody else. No, this dude's a tall. That's not him. That's not the guy who fought Cormier.
No, you're thinking of somebody else.
I might be. So what's that guy ranked?
He hasn't fought since September 2nd, 2017.
What's that guy ranked?
Do they even have his rank on here anywhere?
No.
No.
You should be better prepared for this. It says right on the board, UFC. Right?
It's behind me. So you got that fight. I will go to the next card down.
Co-main event?
Next one. Jimmy Manawa.
Okay.
All right,
versus
that's good.
Jan Blachowicz.
I'm going to pick Manawa on that.
Yeah, me too.
Manawa's a pretty tough guy.
All right.
And I think we're done with the card.
Yeah, another barn burner. Tom Dokeseni versus Terrian Ware. That's the third
We're not
fight
going to go
from
with either one of those guys.
All right, so that's if you happen to watch it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, let's get back on other topics then.
There is some
the
fights.
Bellator fights, the heavyweights. What's going on with that?
Well,
It seems like they're spacing them out pretty far.
Way too far.
But
Way.
Strikeforce used to do the same thing, and they would do that.
Right, but you get times where Bellator's got a fight every week for months.
Did you see who just signed with Bellator and who's fighting Henderson?
Is it Liddell?
No. Huerta.
I like Roger Huerta.
Wow, where'd they dig him out of?
He's been in Thailand, I think, for a while.
April 6th.
Remember when he was on the cover of
How
Sports
old is he now?
Illustrated?
He's not as old as you
He's
would
got to
think.
be like 31 or 32, I would think.
He might be older than that.
We haven't seen him since he beat up that dude outside the bar.
I remember when Eddie Alvarez
Such
beat
an
the
awesome-
shit out of him.
83, so that's he's 35, 34.
Yeah, but he beat that dude up outside the bar that was
awesome.
I guess beating up on the chick. Did you ever see that video?
No.
Oh,
So this dude's like 6'4",
Dude's
6'5", and Huerta
huge.
lights him up.
Oh, yeah?
And fucking beats the shit out of him.
It was
Good for him.
it was actually one of those times where you're like, that's what a real fighter looks like versus somebody who's just a big tough guy.
I remember when he came to Bellator before, and he fought Eddie Alvarez. And, this is like he was coming off of just being on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And,
He was the pretty boy.
and he was, he was banging actresses and shit. And Eddie Alvarez, he just beat his ass. Eddie Alvarez put an ass whooping on him.
Would you say he was an athlete who had incredible potential and never lived up to it?
What was the fight that he broke a rib? Huerta.
I don't remember that.
But he fought the whole fight with it?
No, he was out. It was.
Well, I mean, speaking of guys, like we haven't done a show in 2 weeks. Like that guy Sean O'Malley.
Oh,
Like you see guys that break stuff. Did you see his fight?
Yeah.
Broke his fucking ankle or whatever and still finished the fight.
were you not yelling?
Adrenaline.
Were you
Adrenaline's
not yelling
a hell of a thing.
just like Joe was? Let him stand up.
Yeah, the guy who was beating on him just kept
don't
trying. He went right to the ground with him like
You don't even have to kick his bad leg. You
I
can kick the only leg that the guy can stand on.
Who was the guy in the WEC that had the the
little
stars
stars?
here? I remember him breaking his leg
ankle?
and finishing the fight.
I think they actually stopped it, but he did everything he could.
I know.
There was a time Uriah Faber, I think, broke both hands. Do you remember that?
And he was just throwing elbows.
Throwing elbows.
Was that against Mike Brown?
Who was it?
I think it was.
Forrest Griffin. He got on the Ultimate Fighter house because he fought Ebenezer Francis Braga,
Right.
and he got caught in an armbar, popped his left arm,
And he kept
put
going.
it back in, and knocked him out with his right.
Well, you remember-
with his right hand, and that's what got him on there. And I remember, like, Braga was a guy that competed in Pride, and he was like a really good submission guy. That was back when I was drinking the jiu-jitsu Kool-Aid.
Like when I see a dude who fights through like a crazy injury like that, I'd love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's differences though. Like,
how awesome it was.
There's different types of injuries. Like broken hands, you can't. There comes a point where
Right, but
you can't break it any worse. But like tendons and ankles and
as a fan, and you see a dude who's got 2 broken hands, and you know he's not throwing them for a reason, but he's still fighting.
I think the same thing is true with wrestling too. Guys like Triple H ripped the quad off his bone, finished the match. Guys like Vader got his eyeball popped out by Stan Hansen. Literally got his eyeball popped out, put it back in, and finished the match. And then you have guys like...
Is there video of that?
Yeah. Type in Stan Hansen Vader, and he
I'm going to have to see that.
No, it's legendary.
Is it hanging out or just bulging out?
No, it hung out, and he stuck it back in.
No.
Swear to God.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Who was it against?
Stan Hansen, H-A-N-S-N.
Versus Vader I.
There
it is.
Yeah.
You watch that video over there and see what happens.
No, but you have all these guys that do that who will fight through horrific stuff. Kurt Angle broke his tailbone in the middle of a match and finished the
Have
match.
you ever hit your tailbone?
Yes.
It's the worst
A friend of mine from
world.
work, Tina, she actually broke her tailbone and was out of work for like fucking 2 months.
I remember as a kid, I jumped off the front step of my house. Like I came out the door, I jumped, and it's like 6 steps down. And I landed, but the only part that I clipped at the bottom was my tailbone on the brick. And I was out of commission for weeks.
But then I remember there was a match where
maybe that's why my back hurts all the time.
There was a guy who broke his finger, and he stopped the match. It was Sin Cara was in the ring with Alberto Del Rio, and I guess he landed wrong outside, and he was like, my finger to the ref, and the ref waves it off because he's injured. He doesn't understand. He's got a mask covering his mouth, so he thinks he's just my finger, right? He's screaming, and you see Del Rio just look at him like, you fucking pussy. Like he was so disgusted.
Did the guy finish the match?
No, they stopped the match. I mean, I think it's
I see
it's the
that in real
athlete's
life.
choice. It's the athlete's choice. Don't ever boo a guy because he sits down or they stop it.
Well, let's take you for instance, right? You got the dead foot, right? When you see somebody who gets a little injury,
It's become a thing. The dead foot.
like,
Such a cunt.
no, this is a serious question now. Like you have the dead foot and you still get around and do stuff every day, right? When you see somebody who gets a little minor injury and they're out of commission for good or go on some sort of
You like that, huh?
They go on some sort of disability because they broke a toe or something and they can never work again. Like your shit was fucked up.
Can I ask you, if it happened at work, would this be a different
Without
deal?
No.
You're not the kind of guy to just
I couldn't do it.
Stop doing everything you're doing.
I couldn't do it because
But they would also modify probably what they would ease you back in a different way.
If
probably.
this happened at work, I probably wouldn't have gone back as fast.
But my question to you is, when you were
Yeah,
you were
it
talking about
aggravates
Alberto
me.
Del
It
Rio
it
making a
aggravates
face because
me.
the guy broke his finger, you got a major injury and a dead foot as a result.
It aggravates me, but everybody's different. I'm a lot less judgmental than I used to be as I've gotten older.
Do you know?
It aggravates me. It's like, you pussy. But
do you know
then-
anybody on disability where you're like, they could probably find a job? Like I watched a video the other day of a guy benching 405.
Yeah.
Right? He had no legs below the knees.
Oof.
And he was benching 405 and he's fucking killing it. And then you see other people that
Do you need legs to bench?
you do to balance.
Okay.
All right, right?
But he's got a but he's not. That's not working.
No.
That's
I'm
just
I'm
somebody-
saying he's not the guy who's sitting around and letting whatever happened to him be the end of him.
Here, I've seen those videos too. Like you see people playing guitar with their feet and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's like, holy shit. Or who's the
Look at the guy from Def Leppard. Speaking of the music
One
earlier,
arm.
one
One
arm
arm.
playing the drum still.
beat his wife up with one arm too. Now
Did he
that's
really?
really impressive. That's really impressive.
Did he really beat her?
Yes.
Oh,
Cinnamon
jeez.
Jr., don't grow up too fast and listen.
Do you think it's all backhands and front hands? Like,
I think what he did was he may have done the old school Vanderlei, like grab by the throat kind of a move.
Right.
Maybe did an old school Valley Tudo
and then he
headbutt.
realized he didn't have
You
anything
know?
to hit her with. Like he was
He
just,
just headbutt her. He
just
headbutt
swinging
her.
his arm at the air.
Oh God, what was it?
But
No, hold on. I had a thought. Fuck.
we're talking about
Fucked me
disabilities
disabilities?
that paralyze people. No
People with
pun
dead
intended.
legs.
Or like you
Playing
see,
guitar.
where you see like guys like God, what's the video? Oh, I cry like a son of a bitch every time I see it. There was a girl on one of these talent shows, these Simon Cowell shows, and she had a small band with her, and she had a ukulele. And she's like, oh, I'm stone cold deaf. Like, I can't hear shit. I lost my hearing about like 5-6 years ago. I wasn't born deaf, but I lost my hearing due to this thing. And she's like, but I can remember it. And she's like, I play with my feet, in my bare feet.
So you can feel it.
So she can feel it. And she sings like fucking beautifully.
She plays it with her hands, but
she's playing ukulele and singing. But she played an original song.
But she's standing on something where she can feel it.
Yeah, she plays on something where she can feel the vibrations, and the band fucking played beautiful. And she never looked at the band. She never. I don't know if she's maybe wearing a device, maybe in her pocket where she could feel the pulse of something, so she could keep time. But she's like, no, I remembered it, and I already had a good sense of pitch and everything else, so I kind of know how to regulate that. It was the most beautiful fucking song you ever heard.
Who's the guy in Roadhouse that's blind?
Terry Funk was in Roadhouse.
Not Terry Funk, because he didn't play the guitar. Is it Healy?
I don't remember. Yeah, but I knew you were talking about.
Yeah, he was in it. Or guys like look at
who's the one-handed MMA guy that Dana White says he won't sign, but like even Justin Gaethje's like, you should sign him. Nick Newell.
Yes.
Yeah, but the reality is, when you're there's nobody on that he's going to beat at the UFC. That
dude's good.
He's good.
He just won in Legacy Fighting.
Yeah,
that's
I think
those are guys.
I think he's undefeated.
I think he has one loss.
Yeah, Nick Newell is no fucking joke.
No, but the thing is
everything he hits you with, like where his arm is cut off, that's just an elbow, like every fucking time.
Yeah.
And he's catching submissions because he's sneaking in things. Like you had the guy who was Penn State wrestling a couple years ago, won with one leg.
Yeah,
nobody's double legging him.
Or they had a remember the one-legged wrestler in WWE, the young kid, Zach Gowen. He had a prosthetic leg. From the mid thigh, he had no leg, and what happened was he was a pro wrestler and he wrestled in WWE for a little bit. He still wrestles, but there was always the joke online with fans like he could never get eliminated from the Royal Rumble because both feet have to touch. But like, just think of that. Like, think of this.
But I'm amazed that guys like that can do such high-level stuff.
Yeah, because they don't understand the word no.
Exactly.
And
yeah, Justin Gaethje is the only one that actually beat him.
And Gaethje said sign him.
But you know what's usually a good tell? You can tell there's only one hyperlink on the guy's whole entire record.
Yeah, but
and that's Gaethje, and that's the one he lost.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Okay.
So they're
he's talented.
Nobody's.
Look, in
anybody who's not in any major league like UFC or Bellator, everybody they've fought is a nobody.
Hold on. 5-6 years ago, the UFC wouldn't even entertain the idea. But however, a lot of things have changed in the past 5-6 years for the UFC. They will sell whatever integrity they have to pop a number. Think about it. Would you have an 0-0 fighter with no amateur experience, with no competitive background whatsoever with CM Punk? No. He used to openly make fun of that. He made fun of Bellator for having Herschel Walker, who is a freak athlete and has a lifelong...
So you're saying CM Punk is not an athlete?
He's not a competitive athlete. I'm not a fan of CM Punk.
I thought he did that wrestling thing.
Yeah, and he shit all over it on his way out. And I think he was extremely overrated when he was in it.
So you're just salty with him?
No, I'm saying this.
Do you think he disrespected a genre of fans?
It sounds like you're a little butthurt.
I think that he disrespected pro wrestling on his way out, and I don't think there's anything tough about the guy at all.
When he was wrestling, did you think he was tough?
No, I never thought he was anything special. He always looked like the guy that was pumping my gas.
You know what? He does. You throw him in like a vest with his name on it.
I see that guy when here's 10 on pump 3. Jerk off.
Do you give him the free Ole Anderson utensil kit?
Here's the thing with Punk.
I was thinking about that. Wouldn't it be great if all those utensils were actually different members of the Four Horsemen?
The thing about CM Punk was this.
Chris Benoit.
You can't take
spatula.
You can't take away from the fact that CM Punk is a very charismatic guy. He was able to talk his way in to the position. And look, he had to hustle, man. Like, he specifically guys like CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan in WWE, those two guys specifically
Do you think Daniel Bryan would do well in the UFC?
Well, he trains. He's trained tons of submissions for years. He still trains, yeah.
Okay.
And he's a good dude. Like if you ever read about him, he's like one of those guys.
I'm
He's a
sure
really
there's
good
a lot
dude.
of nice people out there.
But no, I think he would do well. But I think though the thing that you have to give credit for CM Punk, whether you like him or not, him and Daniel Bryan were the guys that shattered that ceiling of they don't look like WWE guys. Like before CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, it was all homegrown talent.
You needed a WWE release tonight, didn't you?
No, it's fine. I'm just saying. But I think part of me is like, you know what? Fuck CM Punk. He shouldn't be in the UFC and all. But at the end of the day, this goes back to leveraging your fame. He leveraged his name
that's exactly
to bring him
what
around.
he did.
He leveraged his name to get himself in a spot. And at the end of the day, I don't let people that say you can't do something are just, you know.
So do you think Nick Newell should be in the UFC?
Yeah, because the UFC's never had a one-handed fighter in the UFC
Right.
yet.
There's no reason why they shouldn't.
Why? If he can compete, and he's shown that he can compete and even Gaethje has said they should sign him. He's legit. He's a good fighter.
Right.
If I'm a guy who has a kid who has some type of physical handicap, who has some type of disability
You
or
don't
whatever.
tell them to let that stop you.
But what I'm saying is that there's so much negative shit out there today. There's a lot of bad shit, and as a parent, especially with someone that's maybe sitting in a wheelchair or someone that has some type of handicap, whether it's physical
Do you
or
think
whatever.
people are too protective of them?
No, but I think, yeah, like I think he knows. I think he can worry about himself. Put him in there, and if he does well, great.
You let him go.
But
We got that one guy with the one hand in the NFL draft.
Yeah, the combine.
Yeah, but-
he's like going to go number 3.
But if I'm a parent and I have a child like that, that is something that you can't quantify. That it's like they said that he couldn't do that.
You got to let him soar.
Well, it's
Like-
good shit like that.
Todd turned me on to a show in the last week, which is the first show he ever turned me on to. Liar. Atypical. Have you watched that show?
Watched it, yeah, I like it.
Like where the kid wants a date and he's learning. He's like he's I don't know. He's on the
autistic.
spectrum or whatever it is, and his whole thing is he wants a date, but mom doesn't want to let him do it because she's being ultra protective.
Yeah, she doesn't want, and I think
And I'm
that's
saying,
something
like,
that any parent can relate
People
to.
with
though.
disabilities, people with disabilities that continue through stuff, like Stephen Hawking. Like he passed away the other day.
Yeah.
And you had the Bullet had the Hawking dead picture with the question mark, with the comment "too soon?" question mark underneath of it, and then it was Stephen Hawking in his wheelchair as a zombie.
Oh, I'm a dick. Stephen Hawking dies, and all of a sudden,
Well, let me ask
people
you
are
a
big
question.
fans of physics.
Let me
You know what
let
I
me ask
mean?
you a question. Stephen Hawkins, if he dies and he turns into a zombie, like, shouldn't all of his shit work now?
I don't know.
No.
Because the brain. Think of this. Think of the fact that one of the most brilliant minds in modern history, one of the most brilliant minds on the planet,
Was literally
trapped.
just that.
Was trapped
He was a
in
mind.
a prison of a body for 50 some years. Think of like the mental fucking power, the willpower that guy had to have.
Just to be able to have conversations. Like, and a side note, like if he didn't have all that technology to communicate with people,
Yeah.
he would just be a guy in a wheelchair.
Did
Yeah.
you listen to Stern at all this week?
There was
No,
a kid.
I missed a lot
There was
of
a
it.
kid. I guess 2 years ago, he was in a wheelchair like Stephen Hawkins for years, and his dad figured out, you know what? Let me find a way for this kid to communicate. Like he was pretty much just lifeless. Like couldn't move his body, couldn't do anything, but his eyes moved.
Yeah.
Turns out that kid's like totally in there, totally with it, and his dad was so sad that for like 10 years he's been
Couldn't communicate.
couldn't communicate with him, but the kid's been there and just screaming out to communicate the whole time, but couldn't control anything.
Yeah.
And Stephen Hawkins was that.
Did you ever
And
hear?
that dude-
hold on, and he was a player.
Yeah, yeah. Pussy hump.
He divorced his wife
Yep.
to marry his nurse, who this was on Stern
I
this
heard
week.
she tried to kill him or something,
No,
right?
who her husband that she left him for was the guy who put all the stuff in for him to be able to talk with the machine.
Oh, really?
Player.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you ever hear the guitarist named Jason Becker?
No.
Okay, so in the 80s, he was like one of those shred guys. like real super fast
Like
and all.
Bay?
Yes, he was definitely in that. And there's a documentary on him. And what happened was he had Parkinson's, or what's the disease where you
ALS.
basically ALS? That's it, ALS. And it first started that he'd have a cane, or he'd start dropping things, or he started to lose control of his muscles and whatnot. And as it stands now, he can only communicate through blinking, but he still composes music through these programs.
It's amazing what people can do.
And it's think of like the fact of like the dedication that it takes to hone a craft like that, and then your body like betrays you like that. And there's a lot of people that just
I watched a video on,
I don't know what I would do
on YouTube the other day of one of the top gamers that plays PUBG,
yeah,
quadriplegic, and he can only control his controllers with his mouth. He's got this controller that's got like 4 tubes on it,
Yeah.
and different combinations of blowing and sucking on it, control it. And they're showing a video of this dude playing a first-person shooter or third-person shooter, whatever he was in at the time, and just owning dudes. Like literally owning dudes.
the fact that we have people that are quadriplegics in this day and age is fucking ridiculous. With you could do so much stuff with stem cells. And
Todd could use some stem cells to make him look younger.
I'm just like,
I just
you know
got
what
a text from Jesse a second ago. Said his brother-in-law, he saw him this week and he thought Todd looked older.
Tell him to look at the video today, early on, maybe 5 minutes
I'm not
in.
going to dogpile in. I owe just a friendly little jab because this is what your brother says to me the first time we come down here.
Yeah.
Hey, when's that music gig you got?
Yeah, you know what? For as much as we bust your balls all the time, when you weren't here on time, he was the first one upstairs staring out the window. Like, where's Bullet? Where's he gonna be? I'm gonna call him. Where's he at?
It was super cool though. It was really cool to play the ECW arena. For me,
I thought you when you won it,
I
you
did
played at
nothing.
the ECW.
Dude, I wasn't
No.
even doing anything this weekend.
no,
yeah, why didn't you invite us?
okay.
It was Friday night, I think, right?
I have the text message or the voicemail. Hey, I can't make it.
I'll check. I'll check mine, Bullet. I did not get one.
There's 2 types of people for gigs. There's the people that will tell you before the gig, hey man, I really want to come out, but something came up, I can't make it. Then there's the other set of people that, hey, I really wanted to come out, but I couldn't make it. For me, it was.
I called you ahead of time.
For me, it was. For me, it was cool that to play that building where I've been so many times. That was super cool, and it was fun. It was a fun gig. It
But
was.
you lost to a band that wasn't even talented, you said.
Well, for me, they were just like they were corny. They had these goofy costumes and paint and makeup,
Like
and
wrestler costumes?
they looked like Kylo Ren. They wore these Kylo Ren hoods.
Really?
Yeah, they were corny as shit.
What kind of music? Is it all the same
Bad.
genre?
Yeah, but they're all heavy metal bands.
Okay.
And for me, I find a lot of, like I'd say like 90% of metal, other than the stuff I grew up on, because then it's not so much about the heavy stuff. It's about, it's kind of like a time machine.
Do you think you could take your band and take the song Against All Odds and metalize it?
Against all odds, what's that?
Phil Collins.
Oh, we probably could. Yeah. Well, HTH is recording now. We're in the middle of recording.
Right.
So we were talking. We always want to talk about like what would be a funny cover, what would be a good cover, and I think we're gonna do.
How about The Power of Love? That
we're
would
gonna
be a
do,
good one.
We're gonna do Straight Up Now Tell Me by Paul Abdul.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think that one's been done, though.
No, but
I'm pretty sure it's been done.
That would be such a cool thing to do.
I think you should do The Power of Love or what's the other song that you said? The other Huey Lewis song?
Hip to Be Square.
Yeah.
We could. I did the guy that we're recording with is this guy Kevin. He's from France, from Paris.
From France?
Yeah, and he's got the thick accent. He looks like a fucking Sasquatch. The dude's like 6'8", and very sarcastic. Cool
Harry?
guy. Oh well, yeah, kind
Does
of
he
big
wear a
beard.
beret?
No, I asked, but he didn't.
Does he eat baguettes?
No, I asked all that stuff.
Does
Do you like French fries?
He's a really big stickler, and he's really good with like stuff on time. So we're recording the drums to a click track, which is like a metronome.
Mm-hmm. Is that an F tone?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But we're tracking the drums now, and it's very tedious. And so it's kind of like I'm doing these 2 different things with 2 different bands, and it's a lot of work, but it's fun.
Right.
I think recording an album to me is like getting a very large tattoo. It sucks while you're doing it, but the end result's like, hey, look at this cool tattoo.
Is this your first album?
This is the first time that we've recorded outside because we do everything ourselves. So it should be done by the summertime.
What's the ultimate goal with the band?
Have fun.
But not to like make a living at it?
Come on, you can't make a living doing this shit.
Some people do.
Who?
Nickelback.
Well, you know.
You should call yourself Nickel Front.
You're right. The name of the album is our award-winning album.
Okay.
So when we're playing songs, I'll be able to say this next song's off our award-winning album.
You should have the first song be #1 hit.
No, well, there's songs we've all been doing for a while.
This is our #1 hit.
Well, the thing is, playing songs that we've been playing for years is there's a really good thing to it because you
make
played them
song
so many
number
times.
3 best song ever?
Sure. But also, if you've been playing the songs or been playing wrong notes for years, it's like, well, wait a minute, you know.
Yeah, it's obvious to everybody then.
Yeah, so it's going to be a process. I got to go through it twice because I'm playing bass and then I'm also singing.
Ooh.
So
you can't do both at the same time while you're recording?
You don't do that, no. You do everything individually.
So everybody plays individually. Don't some bands like have all the music instruments mic'd up and they just record it once?
Sometimes. I mean, I'm a fan of that. I mean, there's a certain...
Because then you're in synergy with everybody and there's a certain energy.
There's a certain energy for sure. But I think the type of music that this band is, I think hard rock or metal, I think it lends itself to a machine like with the precision. And I think if you really get the good foundation with the drums, everything's to a click, to a metronome.
Have there been times during recording where
I
everybody...
haven't recorded a thing yet.
Oh, okay.
It's all been drums.
All right, so your buddy's behind the glass playing the drums or however it's set up.
Yeah.
And he's playing the drums and everybody on the other side of the glass with you is just like...
No, because my drummer Jay in HTH he is a very, very underrated drummer. He's very deliberate. Some drummers have a very soft touch.
But the French guy doesn't say stop, stop, stop.
No, because
he
knows if he fucks something up, and so does Kevin. So he'll be like, Jay, be like, I fucked that up.
What's the French guy's name?
Kevin.
And your drummer's Kevin too?
No, he's Jay. You asked who the French guy's name is.
Yeah.
Jay's a really good drummer. If anything, my job when he's tracking drums...
Who's the leader of the band?
I'd say probably Marty, not me.
Are you the Ole Anderson of the band?
Marty?
No.
No, that's friend Martin.
Martin.
And there's 3 of you in the band?
4 now.
Who's the 4th guy?
The Frenchie.
Chrissy, Jay's wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's really good. She plays bass in another band, so she plays guitar in this band. I mean, there isn't really like...
Let me ask you this. Who's the Ric Flair of the band?
Oh, that would be me.
Who's the Tully Blanchard?
That would be... I'd have to say Marty because Tully was the workhorse.
Who's your Arn Anderson?
Oh, it's got Frenchie.
Jay.
No, Frenchie?
Jay?
Yeah, and then...
And who's the Ole?
That would probably be Chrissy.
And which one are you?
Flair, I already told you.
Yeah, but then what happened to Frenchie?
Yeah, but Flair's the leader.
Who's Frenchie?
He's the producer.
He's the
producer
JJ Dillon.
Yeah. He's got his shit together, man. He gets a really good sound, and that's who they decided to go with. And
when can we expect this album, Bullet? Will there be a premiere party?
Yeah, we're gonna have an album release party that you guys won't show up to.
I'll come to that. I don't want to watch a bunch of bands for music.
Bullet, text me.
Probably Sayer will be playing that, so I'll be doing double duty that night. So that'll be cool.
Why don't you call your band Ass HTH?
No. We were thinking half ton of ass.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, half ton of ass. That'd be kind of funny.
So
those guys are super cool though too because they've never really.
What if you put like a power group together, like Night Ranger, with all these guys?
I mean, we could. I think the strength
just for one song.
The strength of half ton is that we do so many different weird things and oddball things.
Why don't you go full ton and throw the other guys in?
Well, I'm on that path if I don't get back in the gym, brother. Yeah.
So
it's fun though. I mean, I'm gonna be there this weekend, and my job for that, I feel, is to kind of add a little bit of levity because Jay can get. It's frustrating.
You're the funny guy.
Yeah. You got to know not too much, but like if we're tracking guitars and it's like, I fucked that up, go right back. Okay, right, and go. There's not. You can jump right back in. Where drums is a much more physical instrument.
Are you the Larry the Cable Guy of the band?
No, but I know how Jay is. I've been playing with him for so long, so I'll just throw in there. Doing good, babe. Doing great, babe.
You know where your sweet spot is?
Are you the Jeff Foxworthy of the band?
No. What the fuck?
I'm just picking a group of comedians that like travel together.
This guy. No, I'm the just the guy.
Let's wrap this up a little bit. Right?
Anything else we wanted to talk about?
Where can people find us? On our website, cominatyourpodcast.com. Check out Dads and Cargo Shorts. Check out Rest Tattoo. He's at the Keswick. Also, check out Extreme Cage Combat.
Assayer.
Also,
Humanity.
Also, we're going to have Andrea from Out of Pocket Network on in the next few weeks.
Well, we didn't mention them earlier.
We're going to cross-pollinate shows.
So I bet you would like to cross-pollinate.
She's going to come on the show, and we may go on hers at some point.
No, we won't.
We're also there is a podcast festival coming up in the near future that Bullet threw our application in for. So we may have a live show is it June?
I think so, yeah.
In June. So we may have a live show at a bar down in Philly, not of our choosing location, but so we may have that as well. So there's going to be some opportunities to see us live. So come out and see us. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Catch us on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Burberry. What else are we on, Bullet? Out of Pocket Network.
Spotify.
TuneIn Radio. Share the show, please.
Overcast.
For Pete's sake, just share the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Goodbye.